Welcome to EdotGdot and friends. I'm Elden Killian, and today we're going to be ranking all of the games that I played last month, November 2020. So to start off the month, I got roped into a couple games of Go Fish. This is a terrible, stupid, awful game. I wish it did not exist. However, when kids ask me to play games, I play them. And for little kids, this is probably a good game and maybe a foundational game to learn how to lose something, to learn how to make an educated guess. But yeah, quickly outgrew this game, and I hope I can never go back to it. Pretty terrible game. Ranked 19,881 on Board Game Geek. I didn't double check, but that's got to be right near the very, very bottom. Last time I checked, there were not 20,000 games ranked. So anyway, right at the bottom. Number 32, Uno got roped into a couple games of Uno also. Uno is just a rough, terrible game. Kids love it. I understand the appeal to it, but it can go on for a long time sometimes, or it can go really fast. And you always feel like you're getting beat up, and the kids like it, so I'm going to play with them every time they ask. Uno. Number 31, Pictopia. This is a new to me game. I played this during the Thanksgiving holiday, and anyway, this is a mass market trivia game. This one is all about Disney. This tries to do some clever, interesting things, but I think it makes it a worse game. It has these bidding tokens, but you can't get that bidding token back, and there's no penalty. It's like only as far as you can go. And so you're sort of like, well, I'm going to try and go 5 spaces this turn. And then a lot of times you're doing that with other people. And so, if you get it right, they're getting it right also. And it's just who bet most for that round, even though you answered the same question. I feel like that gimmick could work maybe if it was refined a little better, but I found it very unsatisfying. Pictopia, number 31. Number 30, Bookworm, the dice game. I picked this up to round out a miniature market order, and gave it a go. Not a great game, unfortunately. It looks cute. I like the little letter dice. But yeah, it's like you pick a topic off the card. You got to come up with words that use the different letter dice, and you can claim the dice. You can steal the dice from other people. It just, if you're going to play the alphabet game with topics, stuff like that, Tapple is better. Anyway, kind of a miss for me. I might bring this out with some kids, though, because I think it might be okay with kids, and they might like it a little better, but not for me. Number 29, Throw Burrito. This was a birthday gift to me from my lovely coworkers. And I had some laughs with this. It's a very silly game. You're just trying to quickly, as fast as possible, get sets so you can pick up the burrito and throw it at other people. And throwing it is kind of fun. The speed aspect to it is, if you like those kind of games. I'll keep it around. I can see where this would work with certain family members of mine. But yeah, Throw Burrito, number 29 this month. Number 28, Llama. The spelling of this game is weird. In the BGG database, it's Llama. The German copy of the game I have is Lama. And I think it stands for something, so I think it's weird that they threw the extra L in there on the English copies. But anyway, this is a lot like Uno. It's slightly better. It has like this point aspect that makes a little more sense than Uno does when you're playing Uno games. But you're very restricted in what you can do on your turn. It's really hard to find a strategy that works. A lot of it is just luck of the draw. But I have a couple kids that really like the game. It worked well with some family members over Thanksgiving. And I don't know. It's here. Llama. Number 27, Delt. I picked this game up on a whim at Barnes & Noble. This has like an interesting gimmick to it, where you can play 1, 2, or 3 cards on your turn, and it's sort of like those ladder climbing games where you have to play something higher, and it could be 1 card, 2 cards, or 3 cards, like 3 of a kind or runs. And anyway, but you're trying to go higher than everybody else, and the goal is to get rid of all your cards. The gimmick, though, is you can only pull cards out of your hand that are next to each other. And so part of the game is trying to and you can't reorganize the cards in your hand. And so a lot of the game is trying to pick that out and trying to set up good combinations so you get rid of 3 cards in a turn. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I need to play it more, and I might like it more. But yeah, it was fine. Okay, card game. We'll see. Disney Codenames. I really love Codenames. The Disney version just still continues to baffle me a little bit. It doesn't work quite as well as the other versions of Codenames. But kids certainly like it. That's why it gets pulled out. Number 25, Ultimate Werewolf. The play I had of this month was pretty flat. Not everyone who was there was really into it. We probably didn't have quite a big enough group to have a good Ultimate Werewolf game. But it's Werewolf. Already not one of my favorite, kind of a flat play. I don't know. It is where it is. Number 25 of 33. Number 24, 5-second rule. This is another new to me game that I played over Thanksgiving. And, this one's ranked really low on BGG, but I don't quite understand. It is simple. You're just trying to say 3 things that match the subject in 5 seconds. And if you can't do it, then it keeps going around the circle, but they can't say anything that you said. And, I don't know. Maybe it's just because I was good at it. I enjoyed it. But there was a lot of laughs around the table. Everyone was having fun, and you can't discount that. I think it does have like some game issues, where, some things are just way harder than others. Try to think of 3 of them, and then sometimes somebody will say something out of left field, doesn't quite make sense. So there's that. But anyway, it was a fine trivia, fast-paced game that everyone had fun with. So number 23, Say Anything. Sort of like the last game. Say Anything is a good party game. You play with a good group. Can be lots of laughs at the table while you're playing it. Just a solid game for that reason. But number 23, Say Anything. Number 22, Pictures. This was the Spiel des Jahres winner for this last year, the German Game of the Year. My copy finally came in. It was held up from a pre-order. Been languishing at Miniature Market for about 6 months, and finally got it played. And this is interesting. It's like there's a grid of cards with pictures in the middle, and everyone has a different set of things, like sticks and stones, some wooden blocks in different shapes, deck of cards. There's some like little centimeter cubes of different colors with a little frame. I feel like there's one more. I'm forgetting it. There's like a string thing. Two pieces of string. Anyway, everyone takes turns with the different devices, and every round, everyone's trying to make a picture from this grid, and you are using the string. You're using the objects that you have and trying to recreate that picture. It's slightly interesting. I don't know how much I'd want to pull this one out, but it was an interesting way to do like Pictionary, basically. Where it kept everyone involved the whole time. There weren't teams. Everybody's playing for themselves. Anyway, yeah. Pictures. Number 21, Illusion. I keep trying to pull this one out. I want to like it more than I do, and I'm going to keep pulling it out, I think. One thing is I'm terrible at it. in this game, you have all these cards that have different colors on it, and you're trying to put them in order by their color. So in the example on screen, trying to put them in order of yellow. And so you're drawing these cards, you're sliding them into the line where they need to go. The problem is it's just so hard, and I think the problem it has as a game is that your chance to score points is by challenging other people, and you give other points to other people if you're wrong. And so very rarely is that going to go around the table more than once and a half, maybe, because almost certainly someone screwed up in those 6 cards or whatever. And so it really it's like a timing thing. The challenge is fun to me, though. I almost like this better just to like throw out some cards and try to get them in order in some way. But anyway, Illusion, number 21. Number 20, Similo. I've been playing a lot of this since I got it a couple months ago with all kinds of different groups of people. In this game, there's a secret character. You're trying to get them to guess the secret character by playing cards and saying the secret character is like this card or not like this card. And that's all you can say. And so it's interesting where people's minds go when you're playing these cards. This last time I played it, I thought it was very obvious. The first 3 cards, I thought like pinned it down exactly who it should have been. And they didn't think the same way I thought when I had to play a 4th card, and that kind of confused them. I thought it was a great card. We just weren't on the same wavelength. Lost the game, but yeah, I don't know. It's just a quick little game. I can see myself playing this for years in downtimes, in between games, when you're waiting for someone. I don't know if it's my favorite game, but it's so quick and innocuous and an interesting challenge that I can see myself. I know there's some new sets coming out. I'll probably pick them up. Number 20, Similo. Number 19, One Night Ultimate Werewolf. Normally when I play this game, I play it like a bunch of times in a row. The one time I played it this month, it was just a one-time play, and then we kind of stopped. But yeah, I don't know. It's a really good game. Good social deduction game. You know, I enjoy it quite a bit. So quick. And anyway, One Night Ultimate Werewolf. Number 18, Detective Club. This is another new to me game. I bought this a couple months ago and just kind of struggled to pull it out. I needed it. It needs, I think, to play well, it needs to have probably 4 or 5 people. I had a little birthday get together in November and had some family members and some friends. And so I brought this one out. It was a little slower going than I thought it was going to be. And maybe not my most favorite game in the world, but I thought it held up pretty well. I'll definitely try and give this another play in the coming months and see if it holds up, see if it's better than my first play. It does seem to be doing something interesting. So this is sort of like a play on like other games of this ilk. So you are one person is playing a card, and they tell you. And then they write in these little books, and they write down a word for everybody, except for one person doesn't get the word. And then everyone's playing cards that think out of their hand that they think fits the word the best as good as possible. And then they have to explain at the very end why their card fits. And so the person who doesn't have the word, they're trying to pay attention to what's going on without being obvious that they're paying too much attention. And then they got to come up with a pretty good lie on why they played their card. See if they fit in. And it's interesting, the deceptiveness, trying to figure out who's just really talking. The one interesting thing is like there's situations where it's like from the cards in your hand, getting one that matches the word is really hard. And so even though you're in on it, you're just making excuses. It's like, I don't know, I didn't have a good one. This is what I was thinking. I thought this was the best card in my hand. And then, people think you're lying. And so I don't know. Anyway, it's an interesting game. I definitely want to play it some more to see if there's more there than I felt in that first play, which was interesting, but not my ultimate favorite game. Number 17, Fuji Flush. I have played this game so much, and it fits. It just works in so many different situations. It's not a big, heavy game, but you can play 3, 4, 5 hands of it in a row, and have a good time. You play with pretty much anyone. Had some family members who aren't big gamers. Threw them in this game, played well. If you don't know this game, this is a game where you're trying to get rid of all your cards. You play a card in front of you. If anybody plays a card higher than yours, it goes away and you have to draw a new one. If it's still in front of you when it comes back around to you, you can get rid of it without taking a new one. But you can also like combine other people. So if you play 2 and somebody else plays a 2, now yours is 4. And then people have to go higher than 4 to flush both of you. And anyway, it's fun little card game. Fuji Flush. Number 16, Colorado. This was one of the very early games I bought. I've played it a bunch, and hadn't played it for a little while. But I brought it out a couple of times. My wife really enjoyed the game, and so it's gotten some plays recently. Still holds up. Like the game. Kind of middle of the pack for the month though. Number 15, Fabled Fruit. It's another game that I played a fair amount of when I first got it, and then it kind of ran out of steam. But I do want to finish this game. So in this game, every time you buy a card, which is what you're trying to do to win the game, a new card comes out of the deck, and it cycles through all these different cards that have different places where you can go. It's like a worker or like an action selection type game where you're moving your guy from one card to another card and doing what that card says. And so the game has totally morphed over the plays into a slightly, the game is still the game, but like how you're trying to collect cards, how you're trying to fulfill stuff, still basically the same, but the actions are different. Some of them are just barely different, and some of them are radically different. And the interesting thing is, like, you can start getting, it's like, ooh, I really like this card, and a card gets used a lot, but then as people buy that card because they can make up the fruits to get it, eventually that action goes away. It's like, okay, I'm going to pivot with these other actions to do really well. So, like, we just finally got rid of, little spoiler alert here, but like, there's this thief, and every time someone finishes a fruit juice, they get to steal cards from there, and it's a super powerful card. And it seems like whoever got a hold on to that the longest had a really distinct advantage in winning the game. Finally got rid of that card, but in one game I was like, I don't even care if I win or lose this game. I'm getting rid of that card. I'm tired of having to fight over this monkey, this thief. And anyway, Fabled Fruit, pretty good game. Number 14, Point Salad. Great drafting game. If you see the setup here on the screen, on your turn, you're going to take either 2 of the vegetables or take 1 of those point scoring cards. During the game, you can flip over the point scoring cards if they're not as good for you. And so in the examples we see here, it's like if you have an even total of lettuce, you get 7 points. If you have an odd total, you get 3 points. 3 points for a carrot, but minus 2 points for, I think that's onion. And then 8 points for 3 lettuce. And so you might be angling to try to get those 8 points for 3 lettuce and have like the even lettuce card and get a ton of lettuce. And so those cards work together. Just real simple, easy, good drafting game. I like these games where your score kind of depends on which cards you're choosing to take to score with, and then try and fulfill those objectives that you kind of set for yourself. I really like that kind of game. Point Salad. Really good game. That's ranked number 14 here. I think I played some other really excellent games this month. Spoiler as we go forward. Number 13, Bricks. Another new to me game. This was actually from my BGG Secret Santa this year. So whoever sent that to me, thank you very much. I know it's not Christmas yet, but he didn't tell me not to open it, so I opened it over the Thanksgiving holiday. I pulled this out and played it a number of times, about 4 or 5 times. Once solo, and then with 2-player and some 4-player. Anyway, it's like Tetris. You're trying to get it down. It's not exactly like Tetris, but it's really interesting. It's an interesting puzzle. This roll and write uses a D4 and a D6, and a chart there. Yeah, I don't know. It's a really good game. I'm sure I'll play this a lot more. I think BGG kind of underrates this. 6.5 is an average rating, and so the rank is a little lower. And I say that as saying I am ranking at 13 out of 33 for the month, but I don't know. It feels like a better than a 6.5 game. Like I would easily rank this probably like a 7 or 7.5, maybe even an 8 if I play it some more and keep enjoying it. But yeah, anyway, good game. Bricks. Number 12, Port Royal. It's been a little while since I played this game, and I got a chance to pull it out with some friends. And yeah, this is a great push your luck slash, I guess, engine building-ish kind of. Anyway, you're trying to get the cards to get more money, and so you use the money to buy more cards, which are going to help you win and get points in different ways. Either by buying there's points on the cards, and there's also these way to get these expedition cards by turning in other cards. Anyway, I lost, but it was fun. It's always fun to push your luck a little bit, and this one does it well. Number 12, Port Royal. Number 11, My City. This was another Spiel des Jahres nominee game that came on, and this was actually the pre-order that held up my whole order for 6 months. But yeah, I've played six plays of this so far. You can see my board there. That's where I'm sitting at. I'm playing this with my son, and we'll see. I think we're pretty even to those first six games, and I look forward to. I think this probably next weekend we'll probably hammer out another 6 or so games, and anyway. I really liked it. It is a little basic, but I can tell how it's kind of ramping up, and I think I'm going to like it even more as I get deeper into the game. Number 10, Little Town. This was on the Spiel des Jahres recommendation list, and it was available on Miniature Market when I was putting my order together. So I ordered it way back then, and it's all up in the pre-order. But I got this down. I really, really like this game. You're like building these little tiles and trying to create an engine where you can turn them into points, and you're trying to do that better than your opponents. You kind of share that board as you build buildings. You have ownership in them, and if you want to use somebody else's building, you have to pay them. But yeah, I don't know. It is not too difficult to learn. There's a little bit of thinkiness to it, but I think it just works really well. And anyway, Little Town, number 10. Number 9, Super Skill Pinball 4K, another new to me game. This is one that a friend of mine brought over and we played. I really enjoyed it. I'm going to have to track down my own copy. But yeah, you're playing pinball, and you're rolling the dice, and as long as you can do what the dice say and keep the ball moving in play, you can keep hitting things. If you get into some not quite infinite loops, but if you can keep pushing around, you can set yourself up to score a bunch of points. My only detraction I think on this game is that you can just get a bad roll, and just like pinball, where like you just hit it just a little bit off, and it comes down in that perfect spot where you can't hit it, and that's that. But yeah, anyway, number 9, Super Skill Pinball 4K. Really good game. Let's see if I can play this some more in the future, but I really enjoyed it. Number 8, Gingerbread House. This was a surprise. I had heard some interesting things, and I had my eye on this. And anyway, got my own copy. I played this a number of times. This is probably the hit of the Thanksgiving weekend. New to me games anyway. And the people I played with really enjoyed it. But so in this game, you are building a gingerbread house, trying to attract these different fairy tale characters by baking a gingerbread that attracts them. And so when you attract them, you can cage them and try and score points. There's like a basic and advanced. I tried both of them. I do like the advanced a little better. My wife preferred the basic, just because there's a little more thinking than she likes to do in her games when you do the advanced. But anyway, really good game. I look forward to playing this one some more. Number 8, Gingerbread House. Number 7, Tiny Towns. Really good game. I enjoy this one quite a bit. I had a chance to pull it out with some friends. And unfortunately, I kind of crushed him. Maybe I'm getting too good at it. Got to handicap myself or something. But yeah. So, but this is an interesting game. Like the very first time you play it, it's like everyone just score like negative points or just a handful of points. But then you start seeing how it works, and the second time we played it, everyone did just a little bit better for the most part. And anyway, yeah, this is a really good game. I know there's some expansions for it, but I haven't played out the base game yet, and so maybe someday I'll pick them up if I can find them. Number 6, Azul, just really great game. Uh, played this on my birthday with some family, and yeah, it's just a great game. If you don't know Azul, check it out. Totally recommend this game. This will probably go down as like one of those all-time great games, I think, and people will be talking about it years from now. Great game. Number 5, The Crew: The Quest for Planet 9. Got some more plays in this. I'm a little disappointed that I started with like an original crew, and we went through like 14 or 15 things, and our plan was to try to go through all of them together. And we just haven't. That group has not been able to get back together. And so when I bring it out with other people, I kind of go to the beginning, but I don't keep track because I just don't feel it's likely. So I feel like I'm always in those beginning first 5 and maybe like 5, 7, or 8 over and over again. And I'm getting pretty good at it. People I play with aren't necessarily, and it's a little frustrating for that reason. But anyway, really good game. If you like trick-taking games and like the challenge of different trick-taking strategies, this is a great game. But anyway, number 5, The Crew. Number 4, Cartographers. This was held up in my pre-order also. I put a bunch of games in that pre-order. I'd played this one already before, so it's not new to me, and I've played a ton of the app. But I got a chance to play this one a handful of times in November, and really, really good game. I like the drawing aspect. I like just the puzzle of trying to meet the different objectives on the scoring cards, and like kind of looking ahead and weighing my options, and do I take these few points now that I can score me this round, or I set myself up to get a bunch of points in the next round? Taking care of those monsters as they come out on the board. Really good game. Plays pretty quick. It is a little confusing. A few times I played this month was with some people, and it took them like the whole game to really get a grasp, and then unfortunately we didn't have time to play again. But so I'm a little afraid maybe it was a bad experience for them. But hopefully we can play it again and understand it a little bit better and love it just like I do. Number 3, Santiago. Just one of my all-time favorite games. It was my birthday. Made people play with me. I lost terrible. I'd been on a pretty good run this game of being competitive. The last probably 5, 6, 7 times I've played, and winning a handful of those. But this game, things just did not go my way. Some people made some really smart moves. I made some dumb moves. This is a great game. If you don't know it, it's all... So every round there are these new crops that come out, and you want to get them adjacent, and you want to get your workers on them. But the important thing is they also need to be watered. And so one person is in charge of where the water goes. But you can bribe them, and there's just so much like thinkiness and like the temporary alliances that you have round around with other players. Trying to combine your bribes together to get the water go the right direction. Even where you place your tile, it's sort of like this implicit like partnership. So I'm going to place it here, and if you put yours there, then we can help each other get the water there. But sometimes it's in your best interest to not to play along. Anyway, really great game. I really love this one. Number 3, Santiago. I love this game, and I think there's 2 more games on this list that are better than it. So let's see. Number 2, Railways of Portugal. Railways of the World, specifically played the Portugal map. I just really, really love all the Railways of the World. The Portugal map has a couple tweaks in there that make it a little bit different. It has these like 3 city major lines. It has these little water routes that people can take. And I I didn't put together a good long-term strategy, and I ended up a little bit out of frustration going with the take a bunch of debt and you know and not beat myself over the head trying to figure out how to do things, and I ended up taking too much debt. Uh, I think I got last place, but I wasn't too far behind the other person, and just kind of got walloped by the others. But anyway, I really like it. This map is really interesting. I played this map one time before, I think, um, and yeah, just really solid game. Love Railways of the World. Railways of Portugal is a fantastic implementation with a couple little tweaks in there. If you like the system, you're gonna like this one. Number 2, Railways of Portugal, and number 1. This was new to me, so I've just finished my ranking every game I'd played. This game did not make the cutoff. I played it after I made my rankings, but it would have been very high. I ranked this one a 10. 10 out of 10. Great game. Um, I love the way as you're moving around the board and you're kind of choosing where you're going to stop. Uh, you are choosing which actions are most beneficial to you, and you're so limited. I can't do everything, so I got to pick what I'm going to do. If I do try to do everything, I'm going to be going so slow. I'm going to miss out on other opportunities throughout the game. The round will end before I'm ready for it. Um, the buying of the cards, sort of almost like technology type things, where you're getting advantages for buying certain cards, scoring opportunities. Um, yeah, I don't know. I really, really loved this game. I played with a couple of different people, and they liked it. I don't think they liked it as much as I did, but man, this one just hit. Alexander Pfister, along with like Great Western Trail, which is another one of my all-time favorite. This has like a vibe of that game. It is its own thing though, and I just really, really enjoyed it. Um, but yeah, so this was the month of November 2020. All the games that I played ranked according to how I enjoy them, and this has been Edot and friends, and have a great day.
Where? I'm making a YouTube video, guys.